to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning.
Motion to approve the agenda,
So moved.
I'll second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, carried. Approve the minutes of 2/11.
Motion to approve minutes of 2/11.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, public concern.
I have a concern, the weather sucks.
Yeah, it's Mother's Nature way of saying, look out, I'm still here.
It's here, I'll tell you what. Well, rough getting in here, wasn't it?
And you came up from,
That is
down,
one lane only.
is it?
But the rest of our roads are spanked back pretty good, two-lane traffic for the most part. You guys will be trying to shift gears and start punching holes through gravel so people can get out.
I hear that some of the businesses have pushed starting times back for their, workforce today, so giving the people extra time to get into work, and I know Chandler South is started at 9, or,
Yep.
so, and I thought LaGuardia canceled their first shift. I know High Cap was another one, just what I heard on the radio, so we appreciate all of their patience, because everybody wants their road cleaned out an hour ago, so, and we appreciate those guys' effort doing what they're doing, 'cause nobody does it right and all of that stuff, so
Thanks,
just
Ben.
be safe, tell them that.
If anybody asks, you tell them to try to avoid at all costs going on Highway 169 just yet.
169.
It's awful.
Really?
It is awful. It's probably almost more dangerous now because the west side is heavily drifted. It's basically one-lane traffic,
One lane only.
and of
Well,
course, you know...
511 has it closed north of Humboldt, 169.
Yeah, it should be.
But there's a semi up on the Rutland corner, so.
There's a car, well, it's Dial saw it just below Bundy's, right in the middle of the road.
Yeah, that's what we're running into right now, is
So what?
cars that were stuck or abandoned that are sitting on the road, either in the middle or just off the edge, trying to get around them to...
Not advised.
Yeah. When Leo went to work, he said there was a, car that was buried from the, I mean, it was literally buried, you could just see one portion of the, on 169 there by South Chandler.
Mhm.
Was it Wright's house, I think he said it was?
Winged it up and covered her up.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
So if we have a intersection or anything, Ben, do they call in and say the snow is obstructing, are we...
We'll do our
We
best.
do our best, but if we have-
Right now, we're just trying to do roads.
I know, this is, I'm
Later in the
talking
week,
later.
We'll be coming back and probably trying to pull them intersections and then get the old snow blower out and blow it away.
Pat it on the
Yeah,
pipe and say, be good, and...
maybe.
That's kind of the plan anyway. And then, like I said, I came up here to see how much snow you guys had in the courthouse, and towards the end of the week, we'll try and get this cleaned up and moved.
Yep.
That would be awesome.
Gonna take-
Hard to
it's
see
gonna-
on the corners, especially this one over here is dangerous.
It's gonna take the better part of this week to clean this up.
Oh,
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. I
There's a lot of
think
snow.
most of the week to get this.
And Mother Nature isn't gonna melt any of it.
No, it's not gonna go away.
No, and I see there's a chance later in the week for a little bit more.
Easy, we don't need any more. Our quota should've been filled weeks ago.
There's no place to put it, we can't have it.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, now that we're all in agreement, the weather sucks.
Okay, moving on. First reading of Humboldt County ordinance number 69 on the animal protection, Humboldt, control of Humboldt County.
Okay, you should find a copy of this in your packet. I have some copies for the press or anybody in attendance who wants one. Some ladies are here, if somebody wants to see a copy of it. Sometimes the board has me read totally through these, sometimes they just consider it the first reading. I don't know whatever you want me to do, I will do.
Well, I think this has been out and about
No,
quite a while.
this is for the total of the
Yeah.
claim.
Okay. Maybe you guys have already received comments on it too?
I know some of the small communities have commented on it, and they're working through some of the issues they've had, and,
Got a couple of calls, they want me to come up and explain it.
I don't think there's any need for you to read through the
No.
whole thing.
Okay.
It's been out, and we looked at it for the past 3 or 4 weeks.
The gist of this, like I said, that Rick, like Rick said, it's about in the other small communities and stuff, is to have the county standard.
Yeah, more uniform, so when,
So is it, yeah, has there really been any, somebody said something about the concerns of the smaller towns having issues with this, or?
Well, they don't understand it, and I says, well, the most important thing is the back page, I think, the page, seizure, impoundment, and disposition,
Mhm.
or disposition. That's the main one, that says that we can collect $50 for the first offense, and $100 for the second offense of the dogs running loose.
And I think this has actually went through court, and so it works.
Mm-hmm. Didn't this originally come from the city and then tweaked to the county?
Yes. Mhm.
So you're right.
So, I'll make a motion to, approve the first reading, and move it to the second reading. So can we do that next weekend?
Sure can.
I will second Rick's motion.
A motion and a second, any other discussion on it?
Just that if there is any concerns, hopefully people voice them.
Yep.
If there's any,
Because I think every city has a copy of this.
definitely.
We've sent it out.
I think that's the only reason that we put it together, was so that if Mary gets called to one of the other towns, that it's all somewhat uniform, as opposed to, we're going by Bode's ordinance, or we're going by Laverne or Livermore, or...
Yeah.
Right.
So,
Just
she
so that
has
if
the
there is any
ability to do it.
concern, that they voice them and get their questions answered.
Perfect.
Dave said a couple of people, so that everyone understands it, and it's a countywide deal, and there's no issues by the time we get it passed.
One guy I talked to, I said, get ahold of the city of Humboldt's ordinance, change the name to your town and go with it.
Yep.
That's the easiest way, it's all uniform.
Yep.
Okay, all in favor,
Aye.
Aye.
opposed, carried. Okay. 35 reclassification hearing.
Well,
That's drainage, so we'll have to skip that. It's
go
not
down
9
to
o'clock yet.
claims.
So, go down to claims.
All right, I went through the claims. We have claims of $42,059.49 and drainage of $19,771.90. Is that correct?
Mhm.
And the only question you had,
There was a high one from the conservation.
Conservation
For $5,000 some dollars.
$5,000.
For a buck.
I circled it, I thought. I don't,
It should be in the box, we can pull it out for you if you want.
Now, let's take a look. We got-
Specifically, yeah.
Just out of curiosity.
Yeah.
Typically,
That's, not gonna buy a mower, and it seems high for a bucket.
yeah, it's kinda in that in-between area.
Yeah.
But it probably is a bucket. It's a big bucket.
I just seen there,
Bucket.
over
Yeah,
there
We're
with
talking
one of
a
them.
bucket, not a grapple,
With a
'cause I think they
circle
got,
around it,
I think
so
they
I
got
know
one of
which one to
those.
look
Maybe that's what, maybe it's a bucket with a grapple. I don't
If
know.
they start getting attachments, I can understand it, but...
Mhm.
These are all alphabetical,
It's
so.
up on the front, I think it's,
About the second
R.J.
page.
Thomas, manufacturing. Supplies, conservation. R.J. Thomas, right? Isn't that the one over at, Rock Valley?
I don't,
Could call Todd too, and he
They have conservation stuff,
Yeah, he
fire
knows what he
pits,
wants.
tables and all that stuff.
Okay. Looks like it's some grates and some tables.
Oh,
Oh, that's what it is.
Press that
Park-
down to Rick.
park stuff.
park, supplies.
Park paraphernalia.
That's the one over at Rock Valley. I know they get
Good, memory, Dave.
Yeah.
sometimes.
There you go, yeah, tables,
Well, it's shoveling snow.
Yeah,
Maybe 16.
I think
There
what
you
these
go.
are, like campfire grates.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing there's 50 of them and 5 tables. So, okay. Or is it 5 tables?
So, no,
No, 16.
16 tables.
16 tables and 16 grates.
Swivel grates. Yep,
All
that
right.
makes sense.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Stiff up the park
Yeah,
equipment.
that's probably for out here at Sheldon where they're making this expansions.
Good to know. See, we were right. You won't buy a mower?
Yeah.
Too much for a bucket, but it buys a lot of picnic tables.
Yeah.
And grates.
And
Grates.
I'm guessing those are
The big fire grates.
yeah, the things you can cook on if you want.
Mhm.
I just like something on fire if it's me. Those.
Yeah. Did we, vote on the claims?
No.
Got it, Dave?
All in favor?
Aye.
Wait, I have the first, but I don't have a
I'll
second.
have second it.
Okay,
Sorry.
okay, no.
Okay. Approve the transfer of DD 35, Branch C to DD 35, lateral M for $7,478.15.
This is the drainage transfer that Trish put together. Evidently, when they started out, everything was being paid out of DD 35 lateral M, and, then it some of it should have been in DD 35 branch C. This amount.
Yeah, I visited with Trish about that, and she said it
Yeah.
needed to be transferred to this account so she could actually pay the bills out of that.
Yep,
And, if we don't do it, then the bills can't get paid.
right, and she was gonna do it by claim, and that's why she had you sign it, or had Dave sign it. But usually with drainage, we do it by transfers, not by, we don't pay a claim out from a drainage ditch to another drainage ditch, you
It's just transfer.
transfer the money, so that's why we have a transfer.
All right, I'll make the motion to approve the transfer from DD 35 Branch C to DD 35 lateral M for $7,478.15.
I'll second.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
And then this second one is basically the same thing, transfer from 35 to 35 to Branch C of 35 lateral M6 for $89,822.50.
I'd second that.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay. Next, approve the hire of Corey Lampke as chief deputy for the sheriff's office, effective retroactive to February 13th, at a rate of 85% of the sheriff's salary. That would be replacing Brian Rickles.
I guess my only question, and I was hoping Dean was gonna be here, does that,
He's stuck
when
in Ankeny.
he's gone, he's stuck south?
Stuck in Ankeny. He
Oh.
got back to Des Moines.
He got back
He didn't
to
get very
Iowa,
far, did he?
No, That's
Well,
what I heard last night.
I don't know either. Obviously, he'd be here if he wasn't in Ankeny.
yeah.
But
I was,
I'm curious that that's not, you're thinking the other
I just
discussion
didn't
about the
wanna
night
overlap.
supervisor?
No, I just
What?
didn't wanna overlap,
No, Brian
Rickles
is
is,
fine.
he's already gone from there.
Yeah.
Alright.
Oh, okay,
And I don't
different
have an issue
question.
with that. I would approve, make a motion to approve Corey's hire
I'll
at
second.
that position, effective February 13th.
Okay, motion and second, any other discussion? All approved?
Aye.
Aye.
Not approved? Carried. Approve the hiring of Andrew Shillington as deputy sheriff.
And I didn't have a start date or a rate of pay for him because the sheriff was gone and I wasn't able to get a hold of him, so. And Kent, if you want copies of those transfers, they're right here too.
So, do you know, is this the guy that's the night supervisor supervisor then, or
No, I
the?
think
No.
this is just a
This
new...
is just a new hire. Oh,
Well, that Corey basically promoted.
Replace
Okay.
Brian.
okay,
He's been with the police department for about 15 or 16 months, and
okay.
he wanted to move over to the sheriff, so now they're looking for a new police officer, I got it.
There we go,
Yeah.
we got the scoop.
So, I know.
Nice.
Okay. Okay, motion to approve Andrew Shillington as deputy sheriff.
Want a second?
I will second that.
Any other discussion?
I'm sure Dean will get us, other information when he gets back.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Accept and place on file a grand jury report.
There's a copy there for Kent also. The grand jury went through the courthouse, made some recommendations on, things that they would like to see fixed. And what their recommendations are just that, recommendations. It's not mandatory that you do these items, but it kind of gives you some guidance as to things that might need fixed. I did talk to the recorder about the first floor bathroom. That bathroom will not be, we looked into this many years ago as to making that a handicapped accessible room. And it was gonna take major structural changes for that. And once you get into anything and try to make it handicapped, then everything has to change and be up to code. So we decided to designate the second floor bathroom because it had wider doorways and a lobby area that you could go into before you go into the bathroom, and so that worked much better. So that one is officially our handicapped door. And then the recorder said she didn't make that recommendation, they just happened to put it underneath her name. So it looks like she said something, but she didn't. So,
Second floor bathroom is no air and it's hot in the summertime.
it does not have an air conditioner up there, and we certainly can get one up in the window, that's not a problem.
I think the UDMO needs to be looked at ASAP.
Yeah, I wasn't aware that they had
The carpet
some...
fixed to prevent tripping and
Mhm.
no exercise. I think that's a safety precaution.
And I usually get copies of this to the custodians too, so they're aware of it, and they
Okay.
can check out those things that, like the railings, that need to be looked at too.
I would make a motion to accept their report and place it on file and hand it to people that will hopefully get it looked at.
I'll second.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Alright,
Opposed? Carried.
Would them law enforcement, would you guys?
I would imagine we'll have some
Get that back to your
discussion
board
on
meeting?
that.
yeah. Occasionally, the roof leaks, and they come and patch it. They get there
Guaranteed.
immediately and patch it.
Yep,
Guaranteed.
they are.
And, I know Dean sits in front of that big picture window all the time, and he has mentioned that before, but I don't know if it's a real high priority on his list.
Mhm.
In this day and age, you can kind of see why it's needed.
Yeah.
Okay, any other discussion on that? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Approve for filing and publication the calendar year 2018 salary report for Iowa Code.
There's one of those for you there also, Kent, on the table. We're required by Iowa Code to publish salaries for all the employees for Humboldt County. As you'll notice, this is a calendar year, so if you look at that and say, hey, that doesn't match what I think I make, that's because it's not on a fiscal year basis, it's made on the calendar year. County goes by fiscal. So it's half of one year, half of another to make up a calendar year. So this will not match your W-2s. And it's not supposed to.
Good point. So it's taken into account two fiscal year percent, or dollar amounts.
Right, right. The code requires calendar year, we pay fiscal year, so.
Hmm. Interesting.
Yeah, because we've had people before say, now, this isn't what my W-2 says.
Yeah.
No, it won't.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Oh, that is an, yeah.
all right. I'll make a motion to approve the filing and publication of the calendar year 2018 salary report.
I will second that motion.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Aye.
Opposed, same, carried. Approve destruction of outdated records for the auditor's office.
One more for you, Kent. Keep you hopping today, huh? Sorry about that. This is our effort to clean up some of the storage area in the basement. I had Chris Michelson go through, and she put a very nice list together for me of everything that we should be getting rid of. Claims, it actually says in our book that we go by to keep 2 years after the last audit, but I don't feel comfortable with just 2 years, so we're keeping 5. Canceled warrants and checks are the ones that come back from the bank. The warrant register, the fund status, all the big books that we have with all the detail in it of all of the accounts. We don't need to have all those years there. It takes up a lot of room in the basement. And then all of our election supplies that we've been holding on to. We have to keep federal elections for 22 months, any other elections for 6 months. So we've got all of these ballots and declarations of eligibility and envelopes and everything down there in boxes and boxes and boxes. So those are ready to be
Do you have,
destroyed with
like,
their...
that company come and shred them, or how, what do you do with them?
Dave throws them in the burner and burns them.
Oh,
That works.
That's efficient.
Yep, he does a little bit, you know, with a whole bunch of it, he does
Yeah,
a little bit at a time.
time.
And,
Good idea.
At least that's what past practice has been, so.
Okay.
So this is obviously something that you've done, you've been here quite a while, and every so often,
Yep, you
could
clean up
keep
what you
things
can.
cleaned up
And then we encourage everybody else in the courthouse to look at their little space that they have in the basement storage too, and clean up and throw old stuff too.
No, can't keep everything forever.
No,
Yeah.
it's
That's
good to
right.
go through this.
Some things we're mandated to keep, like any tally lists or abstracts from elections, we have to keep forever. So we do have a special place for them.
did my wife call? She's good at this.
She is.
Oh, my God.
Is that throwing away or keeping?
No, getting rid of.
Rid of?
Oh, my God, she's just got this, drives me nuts. Can I wait until I get paid for this before you start?
Throw it away.
Uh-huh.
All right. Okay, I'll make a motion for the approval of destruction of outdated records for the auditor's office, according to this list.
I would, go ahead.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
How much are this today?
Okay. It's been a couple of weeks, you guys probably have lots of stuff.
We'll have to take a nap here between 9 and 9:30.
Okey-dokey. Okay, going back to last week, on Tuesday the 19th, I attended the Farm Bureau supper that they invited us to. It was a very nice supper and good conversations. And on Wednesday the 20th, I was in attendance at the Assessors Conference Board public hearing at 6 o'clock here at the courthouse. That was my 2 official things last week.
Hardy, well, I was down seeing my daughter in Phoenix for a week, but, the 21st, I was in Des Moines, for our health insurance meeting with Dave. That was interesting as always. There's a few minor changes. Denise is gonna be talking to us about that when she comes up with her visit. As mainly it was, I think it was, Dave, just more of the high dollar medicine, some of the,
Yeah. And the deductible
And-
will go up.
yeah, a little bit.
Pocket expense.
Yeah, the maximum out of pocket's gonna go up a little bit.
1,000, what was it, 1,000 for single and
2,000
2,000
for a family.
And it's gonna raise 5.28.
2.8,
Yeah.
5.28%, I think, is what they're looking at, an increase. So,
A reasonable amount.
what's that?
That's a reasonable amount.
It is, and, you know, being as we are in a large group, that's probably what does it. They have about 31 or 2 members, I think probably 32 now, but 30.
You know, 14 cities, 14 counties.
31, and 3 schools.
And 3 schools.
You know, the state won't allow them to take schools anymore for some reason.
Oh.
So if a school drops off, they're not gonna put any more schools on.
Yeah, the larger your pool, the better you are as
Yeah.
far as...
And we did pick
We've got
up-
a couple more wanting to join in.
Yeah.
I think it's a county and a city, wasn't it?
Yeah, we picked up Floyd County and Hampton, City of Hampton, so they will be new. And, our claims were down last year as for our county, which was good. We were like 98% last year, and we're at 60% this year, so we had
Oh, awesome,
we had a good, healthy year.
awesome.
So, that was good. And they talked about, a little bit about banding. And what that is they thought about the lower, you know, if you fell into the lower group, your premium would be a little lower, your percentage of increase.
Okay.
But that problem happens if you happen to have a bad year, then you're stuck in the high years for a couple of years. And if you,
Mm-hmm,
and the reason you get into groups is so you have an even,
right.
you don't have that roller coaster ride. So I don't, you know.
Different age groups and everything, that all helps.
Mhm. And I found it interesting, the average age of our group is 34.
Really?
Wow,
Oh, no.
That's the whole-
Yeah,
30-some.
8,000 people.
right.
Of course, there's probably a lot of kids involved there, maybe.
Yeah, that's true,
You know, that kinda pulls it down,
yeah.
so.
Hmm.
But there's over 8,000
Okay.
people involved in our group, so. Anyway,
And they talked about the prescriptions, and the only, which one was it? The only prescription that is not a generic is, I wrote that down on that page.
Oh, sure, the book you gave us.
I can't help you out on that either, Dave.
Insulin. Insulin
Oh.
You can't have...
is the only one that is not made generic.
Really?
And they said if you walk 20 minutes outside is as good as any,
Antidepressant.
depressant medicine.
Really?
And I figured if you walked outside for 20 minutes today, you'd
Deep breath.
you'd be darn glad to get back in the
Yeah,
house.
you'd change your whole outlook.
Right, boy, it's really nice in this house, you know?
Yep, it does kinda change your outlook
Yeah, a
positively.
little bit of fresh air and exercise.
Mhm, definitely fresh air.
And also, they're starting what they call it, just a wellness organization,
Mhm.
For the whole group, just so they can get information out to different cities and counties. And I volunteered Diane Amundsen to be on that board. I went down and broke the news to her this morning.
Oh, nice.
Because, being she's kinda head of ours here, and so she said she'll do that.
What are they gonna do with that? This is, they want a group within the group,
Yes, they want a group within our insurance group,
right?
just for communication, information, to share information from groups that are doing things, to show that, hey, we're getting benefits here, we're seeing our numbers go down maybe, or whatever, or just different ideas for different wellness programs.
Good idea.
We just thought, it was-
Hope Diane didn't yell at you.
no, she didn't.
She was all right?
I kinda got a scowl at first.
Yeah?
He's a nice kid.
Yeah,
Well,
so,
anything we can do to keep people healthier, it's gonna
Is-
help our insurance claims.
Yes,
it will.
And it will just lower our area.
What'd you guys, you said that 2 entities joined?
yeah,
Or
Yeah.
wanting to?
they did,
They did join.
they did join.
It's
They
all,
accepted them in.
they did.
Yeah, we have to vote as a executive board to bring them in.
So, I mean, and like Sandy said, if we get, that's not a huge group, like as groups go, are they working towards maybe getting more members in?
They are
this group?
working, yes, they're always looking for more.
'Cause that would
The
be
bigger-
helpful.
Yeah, the
The
bigger
bigger your
the pool,
group, the
yeah,
more average it
that you
is.
have, and that helps everything, yeah.
I hope that happens, and it'd be nice if it just didn't go up every year, you know? You like a small increase, but
Mhm.
every single year.
I think in our book, which is in the other room, there was a few years, maybe out of the last, what have we've been in 15 years, I think now, I think 3 out of those 15 years, there was a 0% increase.
It'd be nice to have more of those.
It would.
It used to be we were getting 19-20%, you know.
Before we got that.
Yeah.
It is.
It's
But
just,
that's what happens when you have a claim, a bad, you know, one person in our county could have a bad claim, and that, some of them get up to 30%. If you have, even if it's like a premature baby or something, it can be a terrible burden on the insurance, and it stays that way for several years. Because you know, these guys know.
3-year mod factor is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they know the numbers.
oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And they don't, insurance companies don't lose money, that's why they got all the fancy buildings,
Mhm.
so.
Yeah.
But no, it's a good meeting.
All
I
right.
just wanted to remind you guys, you went back to the 11th and got your meetings, right? Because we haven't had a meeting, or a board meeting since the
Yeah,
11th.
think
So I wanted to
I
make sure
did.
you get that other week in there too.
I think I did.
I better double check that. Yep,
Yep.
didn't have anything that week.
Okay, good.
No, I was, 11th I was
So that was
good.
gone, pretty much, that, I left on the 14th,
Okay.
so.
All right, on Tuesday, the 19th, I was at the Farm Bureau meeting also. The 20th, I was at the conference, review. They canceled the ministerial meeting that day. We had bad weather, and I think a couple of ministers were busy. And I didn't go to my juvenile detention meeting on that Friday. So that should bring me back to this week, that's it.
I had on Tuesday, the 19th, the kitty cat daycare meeting. There's a lot of decisions that are gonna have to be made with that. We've got,
What's your point?
Alyssa wants to, get off being the president. She wants to stay on the board, but she wants to get off being the president of that. So then it's trying to find somebody within our board, either to be the president or to get somebody else on that's willing to take that on. She's doing a lot of work
Thank you.
daily for that kitty cat daycare yet. And so that's taking away from her,
Real job.
right, her normal duties in that, and, yeah. So we just gotta get some things figured out on that daycare. Then I was on Wednesday, the 20th, I was up at the conference room also for the assessors meeting. That's all I had. I didn't have anything the week before.
Okay, on the 12th, I met with John, and then after I talked with him, I met with Ben. On the 13th, I had a Region 5 hazmat meeting in Fort Dodge, down at the patrol office. That
I
was
see they ordered a truck,
We ordered the truck.
according to the Fort Dodge paper.
So that's all taken care of, and it's officially ordered now. 630,000 is what we're gonna have to come up with in payments. It was actually 730, we put 100 and some down.
I was wondering what
Oh,
that
gosh,
got
I was
less.
hoping it was just I was just hoping it
I
was
just thought that was
less.
on sale, like.
Yeah, they had a sale.
Rebate or something.
605,000 we gotta come up with, and we put 125,000 down.
Okay.
Wow. Oh, my goodness.
It takes a year to build.
It's about as bad as a semi.
And, I was back in town to help unload the food pantry out there at 4 o'clock. The hospital brought in a bunch of stuff, 2 busloads, ambulance and a busload. And I had a 911 board meeting also on the 13th. And last week, Farm Bureau on the 19th. At the assessors at 6 o'clock, and the EMA meeting, that was on the 20th. The EMA meeting at 6:30. Then Thursday and Friday, the 21st, 22nd, I was in Des Moines with the insurance meeting. That's it. Okay, being 9 o'clock, now we're 5 minutes late. Maybe go into drainage.
I'll make a motion, we go into drainage.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And I don't think Trish is here, but let me, just to be sure. Nope.
Reschedule this 35.
Are we gonna be able to go through the reclassification hearing?
I don't know.
I don't know, so.
We don't have any of the data in front of us.
Well, Dale, do you have any questions on anything? Because Rick couldn't get down today, so he said if we have anyone that has any issue or any questions, we could call him, and he could try to talk us through it, or he said he would be in favor of just, his schedule for next Monday is wide open, we could push it next week and just reschedule if that works for us. I don't think we don't have anything else on there, do we, for
We can
next
go,
week?
let me go see what we have for time open. Be right back.
Have you, Dial, you guys,
You gotta work out with Ben next Monday.
heard anything with the reclassification?
It just seemed what's coming across me, that's all.
Okay, well, you know that much, that is what they call the bottom line, so you've got that much, but
So you've gotten the mailing saying how much it's gonna be, and, okay, so it's been out.
I know I visited with Rick, and I was here doing some other stuff that day he met with the commissioners on the whole thing, and they made a few adjustments, of course, that's what it's all about, but I don't think there's gonna be anything contentious, and I don't know if, the only thing is, are we advantageous to maybe get Rick on the phone and go through it and
Probably could.
do the hearing, because,
We could
Keep.
you know, this protocol, every time you push something back, it pushes it back. And unfortunately, this,
Digging now, aren't they? No. I think that's coming up later in the meeting.
yeah, we got, discussion possible action, it's gonna, please.
Someone have a good speakerphone to call Rick on, 'cause we can use that one there, I suppose.
Okay, your last appointment next week is at 9:00.
We got a workshop with Ben next week.
Yes, that's down there too.
What else you got on there? Todd,
We have a conservation director at 8:35, Ben is on at 8:45, Bob Lincoln will be here at 9:00.
So he's gonna be on mental health, so did he say what that's gonna, how long that'll be?
He didn't say how long it would be, no. He's gonna talk about the annual report and then updates on county social service.
We have our meeting on this Wednesday over at Allison for
The
that.
story of the messenger last week.
So I don't know if you wanna do 9:30? I hate to give Bob just 15 minutes, I think he'll probably talk a little longer
Yeah, he
than
might.
that.
yeah.
I think you will.
Well, I'm guessing that we could schedule it for 9:45, and Rick's probably got things he's
Because the
interested.
thing is, you know, if someone does have a complaint about this hearing and they can't get here because of the snow, I mean,
Yeah.
I think we need to push it back. That's, you know, if they were gonna come in,
Right, that they may not
be able to,
Yep,
because of the weather.
right, which is,
That's the only issue, I think.
decided possibility.
I haven't heard anything from
No,
anybody.
I haven't
We
either.
got any written complaints, but due to the weather, I think we should push it back.
I agree.
I don't think it'll take long.
No.
Is there a motion for that then?
Okay, I'll make a motion to reschedule that for next week at 9:45.
I'll second it. Do you want me to call him quick and ask him if 9:45 will work?
Probably should add, see what his
Yeah.
schedule is.
He said it was fine, and if I can get him to answer again.
I mean, just because of the weather,
It's fair, and as far as reclassification in a week, I don't think it's gonna,
matter.
no. You wanna ask him about the other discussion, his thoughts on that as well.
Yeah.
Maybe he's stuck in his snowdrift.
Might be blowing.
Rick, are you done scooping yet?
Yeah, it's deep enough, they brought in a snowblower, a big track come out of the snowblower to get us out.
I see. Hey, we're sitting here at the board meeting, and I'm just, checking, we made a motion to push this, back till 9:45 next week. Does that work with you?
You bet, 9:45.
All right.
Oh, wait a minute, let's see. This is the 25th, hang on.
That would be the 4th.
Yes, yep, wide open.
All right, so if we push back the, reclassification on 35 branch C, and then the discussion on the action of scheduling the completion hearing, put that,
Yeah,
do you wanna put that at, say, 10 then?
so, yep,
'Cause that way we have 15 minutes for if someone has questions on the reclass.
yes.
All right. Well, we just thought we'd better check with you and make sure before we put you on the schedule again. The only one that's here is Dial, and he said, he didn't have any questions as of today, so.
Okay. Okay, good. No, that sounds good. I'll get it in my calendar right now.
All right.
Ask Rick if he's got any thoughts or comments on that scheduling completion.
Eric has a question here.
Hey, Rick, this is Eric.
Yeah,
And also, like Bruce just told you, we were gonna push back the discussion and the possible action on scheduling the completion of the project. Jake, any thoughts on that?
just that I think it would probably work out for everybody concerned if we do delay it, as long as everybody seems agreeable. I mean, and that's, to have a solution where people are agreeable is a great thing.
As far as getting the project done, or just wait until next
Yes.
week to talk about it?
Well, both.
Okay,
I think it's probably a good thing for all concerned. And delaying the week is certainly not an issue. The contractor's aware that that's what's being considered, so,
okay, have you been in contact with them then?
yes.
Okay.
Yes,
All
I have.
right.
Yeah.
Maybe given the fact that we're gonna push this off a week, you might touch base with them again so that, we know what their thought process is when we discuss this next week?
You bet. Yeah, the only thing he expressed a little concern on when I first talked to him was where he would put the pipe to have it out of the way. And sounds like Dial already talked to him about that now. I talked to Dial again. And, decided it could just be outside the area where the seed corn itself is gonna be, and then it would be fine. So, knowing that, I think he's gonna be definitely in favor of it.
Okay,
So,
well, that's,
good to discuss it further next week, but that's my general feelings now.
okay, nope, that's all I wanted to just touch base, so that sounds good, Rick. I'll hand you back to Bruce, or Rick,
Okay.
or Sandy.
All right, well, that, just wanted to make sure them times would work for you, so I guess we'll
You
see.
bet. Appreciate that, Bruce.
All right. We'll talk to you next week then.
All right.
Thank you, Rick.
Thank you.
You bet.
Bye.
Thanks.
Would you like me to fill you in a little bit?
Yep.
Yes, I would like to hear more about
Did
this.
we have
Yep.
a vote on that, rescheduling that first one?
Harlan and I was talking, a week ago Saturday.
Just a second, Dial.
Okay.
We haven't had a vote on that first motion to
Oh.
reschedule DD 35 branch C.
Did you make a motion?
Yes, I
You
did.
get a second?
Yes,
Yep, neither, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed,
okay.
carried.
I didn't wanna leave it hanging there
Yeah.
before.
Do you need a motion on the 10 o'clock?
On the second one?
I'll make a motion that we're going to move the discussion and possible action of scheduling completion of the project to 10 o'clock next Monday, the 4th.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, carried. Okay, now we can go. Okay. A week ago Saturday, Harlan was out, and we were visiting a little bit, and of course, says, he questioned whether they were gonna get this done before frost was out, so late. And then, so it got me to thinking a little bit, and, I've been a little concerned on how well it's gonna work down with these big chunks this spring, and so I've got a friend who's had a couple of these projects done during the wintertime, and asked him about it, and he says, well, it works down fine, it's just not getting stuck is the problem,
Oh, going across that.
going across it. And with all the seed corn, we have seed corn contracts signed, and, I mean, there's a lot of activity out there.
and I'm a little concerned for safety and stuff with people falling in and this and that. And if we weren't gonna get it done anyway, what's the difference if they just stop now? So I called Rick and asked him Monday about it, if there'd be a problem as far as an engineering standpoint or from their point. And the more he thought about it, the better he liked it, just waiting until seed corn harvest is done. And, so he contacted them Tuesday, I called him, Rick, back on Tuesday. He thought they were okay with it, his only problem was, their problem from his concern, or understanding was where to put the pipe. They wanted to put it on the end rows, and I don't want it on the end rows. And so, the more I thought about it, I thought, the west side of the seed corn field is pretty close to where the line's going through, so they could just put it over where I'm gonna have beans. And I would think that would be the best of both worlds, for them and, for me as well, that it's not on the end rows and everything. So Wednesday, they were there, they put a cement plug over the end of the tile, put gravel over it, started to try to take the box out, they couldn't get it out, so it came back Thursday, I was gone Thursday and Friday. So they've taken the box out, filled the hole back up, and the equipment is gone, other than the Volvo. So the only thing they got left to do is move the pipe. And like I say, on the south end, they're already in where it's gonna be beans, or that's where the pipe is laying. And on the north end, I suppose it's 300 feet carried maybe over to the bean ground. And I told them they could line it all the way across however they wanna do it, it doesn't matter to me, just so it stays out of the cornfield and I can work around the rest.
How much pipe is out there?
It goes almost to 190.
Oh, okay.
They hauled in several loads there the last couple of weeks before the snow came. Several days, they brought 2 or 3 loads.
So, I don't know what you can do. My thought is, I'll be more than happy to try and give them a couple of weeks' notice as to when seed corn harvest is out, and they have 60 days after harvest to finish the project. That's my thoughts.
You won't wanna give them a very big one.
Well, I think they need 60 days, but I don't
Yeah.
want to give them any more.
Yeah, I don't wanna give them any extra.
Obviously, we said we're gonna have this discussion next week, but, you know, here's...
At least we can think about it now.
Yeah.
So we know what's going on.
Yeah, and I like having the discussion. I'm very disappointed with this whole deal.
Well, I wish it would have been done. It should have been done.
It should have been done.
It should have been
It
done.
should
They
have-
missed enough days that it could have been done before the end, or 1st of December, and it should have been done by the end of December. But it is what it is. So, to me, we just make the best of it going forward, and
The only positive thing is that you and yourself, Harlan, and anyone else affected seems to be just saying, well, this is agreeable, it's a lesser of two evils, but it's really unacceptable. And I guess like I say, we can wait till next week to have the discussion about how this company's gonna be treated for not getting this done.
Where's the cutoff for if we were the penalty?
That's what I'm thinking.
I mean, are you gonna stop it at whatever, and then when they have this buffer zone that they can go from here to here, and then if Dial gives them this date that the seed corn's gonna be out, and they don't show up for 10 days after that,
There
are
you
we
have
right
it.
back into where we were before?
That's my concern exactly.
I think we're gonna have to have this written up quite,
I think you wanna have
Well-
it pretty tight how you wanna have it written, otherwise they're gonna possibly take advantage of it.
Well, I think they've already, in there, I don't know, but I have this distinct feeling that this is like they feel letting them off the hook, which Dial just said it succinctly. Technically, they were supposed to be done the 1st of December, was their extension.
October. Then
Well, from the beginning,
Yeah.
but that was an agreed-upon extension to the 1st of December, and certainly, even with that, they could have and should have been done by the end of the year.
yeah, they should have been done by the end of the year.
So, I feel there's, like, we're all kind of on the same page, there's some type of penalty to be enforced to this point,
Mhm.
and as you said, extremely well-written for that time frame after seed corn harvest. It just isn't right.
Yeah, 'cause typically seed corn's out by the 1st of September, isn't it?
Well, they'll start sometime in August, and by the 15th of September, I mean, it just depends on...
Yeah, what they get to your
Number
field
of
first, you don't know
planted.
what you're gonna get planted this year, and...
But it's earlier than,
Yeah, you know,
Then
it's
not.
usually before beans start, so,
gives them a really nice window.
yeah, and it should be the best time of year to work.
Mhm.
I look at it as a 100-year project, and so
You want it done right.
I want it done right. And so it's for whoever's gonna be farming this ground for the next 100 years. And so
Okay.
whatever we can do to make it go and get it done right, that's what I'm interested in.
You're very accommodating.
Well, we can't change nothing. This is a situation we're dealt, so let's make the best of it. That's my thought. And, I'd just like to see a big penalty if they aren't done within 60 days, and I don't.
Well,
I think that
I think
if that's the
they,
case,
I
we
believe
should-
they've been,
They should be invited to this, don't you think?
yeah.
I haven't told them about it.
I understand, but they should be
They should
here.
be
They
sitting here.
should be
And
here.
it shouldn't be one of those that, you know, well, we'll try to be there, I don't care.
Should be mandatory.
We're gonna be talking some,
But to be only right, penalty should have went from the deadline we give them, which was December 1st,
Yep.
Mhm.
until the time we give them the extension.
Yes.
There should be a penalty in that time period. If we give it to them next week, then the penalty is from December 1st
Till
until
that date.
next week.
I agree.
And then if they don't get it done in that 60-day period,
Another penalty.
then the penalty starts again.
Mhm.
Mhm.
I agree.
That would be only fair to everybody.
Yep.
well, and it's gonna be, pardon my French, it's gonna be damn difficult for them to have, some type of job that they're gonna work on all summer long, and then all of a sudden, when you get the phone call that says, hey, they're gonna start pulling seed corn next week, or in 2 weeks, okay, I gotta have my crew of 3 machines that could be working somewhere else. We can't, there is
I have a
no,
feeling that's what they did to us this year.
I have a feeling you're exactly right.
Well, you know,
So,
there's
but
no-
you're still gonna have to be able to pull 2 or 3 machines out of wherever they're at, 'cause they just aren't gonna be sitting at their shop saying, okay, we're ready to go to Humboldt
Yeah.
tomorrow. So,
We need a way to hold their feet to the fire, otherwise they're just gonna keep putting this off.
well, Dial's already informed them that he would give them as much notice, and obviously they would know it right now. That's the program, so it's not a surprise. So they're just gonna have to, if they have any scheduling ability whatsoever, realize that time frame of seed corn harvest,
Block it off.
they need to start, and they have, if it is 60 days indeed, they have 60 days, period.
are we
It's
good
done.
capped up on the highway where they bored underneath there, they got good,
I didn't see, because I had to leave that day too when they were capping it, but as far as I know, they capped both ends.
good. I just don't wanna get up there and we pull that dirt back and all of a sudden we got a tile that we bored underneath
Fall
it.
under the road.
We still got a big pile of dirt up there on the road.
Right.
Yeah, didn't fit back in the hole very good. So that's gonna be a mess, but
Well, I think Dave summed it up in his conclusion of where we need to be with this.
Yeah, hopefully they'll be sitting here so we can discuss it with them.
Well, I think
Do we need to send something to
make
them?
Rick aware
Yes.
that, call him, invite, demand, whatever terminology you
Whoever the
wanna,
boss is.
Yep. Exactly.
I have his number too.
Maybe you should call.
No, well, we don't get along very well.
Perfect. I wouldn't
I'm
expect
not
you to.
speaking very, I doubt if we're in Christmas card mailing. list.
That's okay. Maybe you should.
Well, I'm just as frustrated as Dial is,
Could you-
because it just seems like this has been
This isn't
going
correct.
to a dentist that just didn't give you enough Novocaine, and you can't get over it.
well, as far as I'm concerned, the board here has been more than supportive and tried to do all they can, and there's only so much you can do with some people, so it's,
Bruce, would you do this much? Talk to Rick Hopper first and tell him that, we did mention,
Well, Dave and I will call him. I don't wanna step on his,
no, but I mean, just for the
yeah.
good of the...
We'll get it.
And like Rick said, a representative from that company should be here at that meeting for this discussion,
Yeah.
period. They really haven't been very well represented, in this project, unfortunately.
Their communication, from what I see, has been very poor.
Very.
What really is gonna be upsetting is if we have a spring where we could've got work done and we pulled everything, and
Yeah.
that's the part that makes me, but what do you do? You're damned if you do and damned if you don't, kinda deal that,
But I can see your point, even
I
if
do
you did
too.
finish in the spring, and then them come in here with those pickers, and you got that 12-row picker, and it drops it on the ground.
Well, you got the sprayers and you got the...
Sprayers, there's all that stuff.
yeah,
It is a hazard.
It's not a
It is,
big
you
deal.
know.
it isn't. It,
Because there's gonna be a lot of settling on that.
Yeah.
well, you sure wouldn't want a kid walking through there that,
Man,
probably, nothing against kids, but,
they don't pay attention.
you know, and that corn fall in a hole and somebody get hurt, and
And I know the company's extremely safety conscious.
Yeah, it's, I'm not sure just what they do.
Yeah, so that makes sense, and this is not gonna make up for this debacle, but to enforce the penalty, which in essence does take some dollars off the project, is only correct for Dial, speaking of how much he and everyone else has to pay for this, is only correct that it's a little bit less for the headache, and it's not gonna be enough.
perfect.
Harlan said he had visited with, he called Harlan and was asking him where to pilot, and Harlan said, well, you gotta talk to me, 'cause it's my ground, and it sounded like he went on a little bit as to what he's losing money on the deal and everything else, and...
That's too bad, isn't it?
I felt bad too.
Yeah. Mhm.
But anyway, that's the information I know.
Thank you, Dial, that's good.
We apologize for the whole thing, but
Yeah.
I guess
Like
we'll...
I say, I think you guys were staying on top of it. It's just, I think you've done all you can.
That's enough.
All right,
Come up with it.
Yep, thank you.
thank you.
Yep. Thanks, Dial.
Yep, thanks.
Okay.
Is that all we got in drainage?
It's not enough, but it's something.
I will make a motion to go out of drainage.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Oh, this isn't, we're not discussing this, so, but, did you have, anyone else have wrote down that,
The Bode?
the DD 103?
I did.
I did
had that
too.
written down.
And that was never on the agenda, which is fine, in the grand scheme of things, it was just gonna be discussion on that.
103 repair, informal meeting, yeah.
Yep.
I had that too.
Could, just to, yeah, could we put that on next week's agenda?
Mhm.
We need a motion for
What number
that?
was it again?
DD 103.
103 Bode.
No, you don't need a motion. We'll put it on there.
You are the best.
What do you want to discuss on it? Is it reclass area?
No,
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 Repair-
it's
This one
a,
here is the repair informal.
They got-
I don't know if that's what I
They
wrote
got
right.
some issues
Yeah.
up there with that.
yeah,
Just an informal?
it's informal, yeah,
Okay.
there's nothing official.
I think it's just to get it out there so all the neighbors and
'Cause I had,
know that they are thinking about doing some work to it, whether it's a project or a work order. I think it's gonna make the decision.
Okay.
because I had a landowner in that area ask if it was on for today, and I said, no, it's not. But I said, so next week, we should be able to...
What time will we have that then?
Let's see, I've got that in the back here. We're up to 10 o'clock.
That's what I was thinking.
10?
Was the completion of the
Okay.
project JWA.
Tim?
That might be a little...
Or do you want,
I had on here Boone Watershed too. I don't know if I had that on the wrong day.
That was
Or
the week
Boone River
before.
Watershed, was that the week before and I had it on the
Yeah.
wrong day? Okay.
See, that's why I don't put my stuff on digital
what time
stuff.
do you...
10 o'clock.
10 o'clock is the DD 35 Brad Stevens.
Well,
Oh, it is?
I love it.
We got a
Okay,
9:45 and a 10.
10:15 then.
10:15? Okay. We'll put it on at 10:15.
What's 10:15? I'm sorry.
But she already has something at 10 o'clock, so
Oh.
we can
Yeah,
move it to 10:15.
10:15.
Okay.
I got so much chicken
See,
scratch in there, I'll
my
just...
digital is so nice, I can go in there, edit, 10:15.
Yeah, well...
I just scratched it out and rotary wrote it.
Exactly.
Okay, we got a little time here before the next meeting, so, I talked to Todd Lee about that, watershed over on the Boone River that the DNR come up, talked about. And Todd agreed that the guy didn't really present it right. What it is, the more people that get into there, the better grants they get. And it's to get grants to clean up what goes into the river over there and stuff. And he said, people he talked to and decided that, you know, it's nothing, no big deal, we can get out whenever we want. If it's gonna cost us money, we can bail. So, anybody wants to be a representative on it, we can go ahead and sign the papers and be a rep. If nobody wants to be on it, Todd said he would consider going on it for representing for the county.
I wouldn't hurt to have both Todd and one of us on it.
True.
What if it involves getting rid of beaver dams?
And, you know, I was just reading through the minutes of conservation, they're looking at getting more land along the Prairie Creek there. So we'll have over a mile, probably a mile and a half,
Border touching.
that we have county park that this involves.
Mhm.
So I think it's something that he should be involved in,
Yeah.
Todd.
Mhm.
And, yeah, I wouldn't mind being an alternate or something if you wanted to put me on that, so,
Okay.
being as I got interest in there anyway.
Get rid of the beaver dams.
So you wanna put it on to accept that petition, or is
Agenda
that?
for next week, we can
Do you want it at the bottom, or do you want it with the time?
just put it in the bottom.
Okay.
Appoint somebody and join.
Yeah,
I think it's
'Cause I
a approve a
know
resolution, I think.
the
they have
Prairie
something.
Creek watershed, which is above this, is, they've been having meetings for, cover crops and different things, trying to cut down on the amount of nitrogen that goes into the watershed.
Perfect.
That's been going on for a couple of years, probably 3-4 years now.
So Dave, your take on it was it was a no cost, no obligation, and if they start,
He said that he's on another one for the county, and he said that he'd be glad to go on this one too. He says all it is they go after grant money to do the cleanup and stuff, and if they got everybody on board, well, then they can get pretty good money. Well, you know, we've got the Humboldt County and the Wright County, and get a grant
what type of
for cleaning up the watershed,
cleaning as
Cleaning the
in,
water.
cleaning.
Like the-
Buffer strips, you know,
That type of
they
thing.
have educational programs they put out. I've been invited to it for this Prairie Creek one. They put on like a meeting for showing different ways to clean
Mhm.
up the water going into the watershed.
Well, I'm fully versed in that. I mean, would this be, saturated buffers,
And, yeah, all that kind
things
of
like
stuff.
that, that they take a look at?
Yeah.
Maybe get some money
It'd
for
be
the
similar
cost.
to some of the meetings that we've had down at ISAC with that deal up in southern Minnesota that they had, what were those, they used those cob
Oh, bioreactors.
Bioreactors, that's, yeah, that's those type practices,
Yep.
maybe, and then the wetlands is involved, and
Mhm.
that's good. I think if you tell Todd, he's our man, Rick will be
I
very
told him
supportive.
that we'd probably,
Mhm.
if he would be interested,
That'd
he
be
said, yeah, he would
Good.
consider going
And you
on
said-
representing us, 'cause he's on another one too.
Yeah.
You thought there'd be some park area along that area?
Well, yeah, we already have, maybe it's 80 acres up there that the Prairie Creek runs through, and we're
Right.
also in the process of purchasing more.
Yep, I actually have a map of that. I
And,
think Pheasants Forever is involved in that.
Yep. So, I think the conservation has a big interest.
Vested interest
Vested
in it.
interest.
Mhm.
Good.
Looking at, according to their minutes, they're looking at purchasing from Tom Kellner, and approving him wondering if the conservation board would be interested in purchasing 80 acres of land from him. The property lies just north of the Foster Bridge.
Hmm.
So he said they're looking at more property up there.
All right where that is.
Mhm.
It's a pretty good conservation area.
That ain't much good for anything else.
Nope.
It's adjacent to the east fork of the Des Moines River.
Yep,
Mhm.
yep. Good.
Some of that was probably south with all the water that was so high this summer during our detours up there when the water kept going over the
Yes.
road
The
up
detour.
there, over our detour and closing our, making our detour be moved.
And the board was wondering about the money, and maybe, wanna know if the Iowa Natural Heritage Foundation would see if they would be willing to purchase the property and hold it until the Conservation Board could secure the funding to purchase.
Mhm.
They would rather than awarded $4,000 community foundation grant to repair the boat ramp at Sheldon.
Well, you wanna take a quick break, or you wanna
Yeah, might as well.
Take a quick recess.
waiting for
We got 7
our
minutes.
time to
9:45.